Hello and welcome again to VW Feasts, and today we're making our favourite tapas, Jamon Croquettas. So for this you're going to need some eggs, and just in case you've forgotten how to crack them, the VW is going to show you. These actually aren't for the inside of the croquettas but for the pane later. Then you're going to need some finely chopped onion, some flour, some breadcrumbs, milk, bouillon, salt, butter, and here we've got bacon. Although you'll probably want to be authentic, you'll want to use a nice Spanish ham. Right, first thing we're going to do is going to make the centre, and for years I thought this was potato, but it isn't. It's actually a variation on a bit of a white sauce. So as you would with any classic roux, you want to melt some butter. Now you can either chop the butter up in the pan or do like the Americans do and cube it, then put it in the pan. But what you're trying to do here is just increase the surface area and melt it without burning it. Once your butter's nice and foamy, then in go the onions. And here we're just trying to soften them, make them a bit translucent. We're certainly not trying to brown them. That would give a very different texture and actually could make it change the flavour. So in those onions go into that loads of lovely butter. And then when that's ready and they've gone translucent, we can then start to add the other ingredients. So we'll put the VW into turbo mode here as she starts to make this. In goes the flour, and as you can see that turns the mixture into a bit like a dough or a paste. And then what we're going to do is we're going to incorporate some of the liquid to it, but slowly. Just on a lowish heat as we go along, just add some of the milk and then mix it in to the paste, and you'll start to see that it goes into a bit more of a creamy roux. And of course, as with everything, the VW has a better tool for this job. So once we've got some of the big lumps out the way with the spatula, air in with a whisk. As you can see, the VW really is turbocharged here. As I said, I always thought these were potato. I like potato croquettes, but they're not. Of course, I've never been corrected because I never get to eat them in restaurants. No, I'm always the last of the plate, and we have a daughter who guards them like an angry tiger. Right into that we've added the bouillon, and we're keeping it over the heat, and as you can see it's cooking. Bit of seasoning there, and starting to thicken as we go along. It's always helpful to have an extra hand at this point to play with the controls. This is thickening as it cooks. Till it's time to add in, and as I said, in this case, bacon we had lying around, but you'll want to use a nice Spanish ham. This really does thicken up now and comes into almost like a dough. Grab that third hand, put it into a container and allow it to cool. Even in a fridge, you want to get to the stage where it's going to be workable. Next stage, we're going to fashion them into the croquettas, and taking a spoonful, 2 spoons to make almost a quenelle, then shape it into that familiar cylindrical shape of a croquettas. The cooler it is, the easier this is to work with, so don't be afraid to leave it in the fridge for a couple of hours before you start playing with this. If it's too sloppy, it's going to be almost impossible to work with. So paneing classically into the flour. Then into the beaten eggs. And then the eggs act like the glue to be able to capture all the breadcrumbs. Normal breadcrumbs, panko breadcrumbs, whatever you want. our beautiful croquettas, and repeat until you've used up all the mixture. And here are ours sitting there waiting. Again, at this stage you could put them in the fridge until you're ready to use them. However, we're a little bit hungry, so let's fry some of these off. So this is some very, very hot oil. We're going to put the croquettas. We reckon you should cook perhaps 3 at a time. That gives them space in the basket so they're not getting all squished together. And it's actually a perfectly adequate serving. So for our tea, just now, we're going to do the 3. And the rest, we'll pop back in the fridge. The VW may actually cook those and take them to the office, if they're lucky. After a few minutes in the oil, you'll see the beautiful crispy croquettas. Place them on some kitchen roll just to dry off that extra oil and get down to a temperature where you can actually serve them. Remember, you have cooked them up to about 190 degrees here. So put them on your choice of plate or stone. Season with a bit of sea salt here just to really give them that extra tang. As you see, beautiful, soft, fluffy light Jamon croquettas. The VW at this point is just going to make sure of her handiwork, so off she goes. I don't think I'm going to get to try any more again this time. But here we are, Jamon croquettas. Enjoy.